Welcome to the Reddit library. Today we'll be looking at r/AskReddit, where user 2 minutes to sundown said, "High school teachers of Reddit, what is the one thing that you want your students to know that you never tell them in person? Your parents are literally the worst part of my job." 9 times out of 10 when you have a student acting different and you meet their parents for the first time, it explains a lot, often everything. Yes, I put you in a group with the kid you have a crush on intentionally. I'm stuck here with you for 180 days a year. I want to see some drama. Edit. I think this is my most upvoted comment. Glad my matchmaking could make some folks smile. Also, thanks for my first gold. Edit part 2. Silver 2? No paparazzi please, but seriously, thanks. My food and nutrition teacher started off the semester telling us not to question her seating/grouping decisions because at that time she had 5 known adult couples that got married specifically because they met in her class. She showed us pictures of her at their wedding. As far as I know, she had a 0% divorce rate with half of the couples being together at least 20 years. I think what you learn in the other classes is mostly useless rubbish. The things you're supposed to do to learn it is boring and ineffective, and the way our schools are organized is archaic and not fit for humans, much less kids. I'm not saying I liked fights in my classroom. I'm just saying I might have taken a little longer to react when the jerk student/bully was finally getting what was long overdue. Also, thank you to my students who would have my back when they'd kindly remind the class that I exist. Hey y'all mother fathers, shut the father up. Also, thank you to my students who would have my back when they'd kindly remind the class that I exist. Hey y'all mother fathers, shut the father up. Mr. Blank is trying to teach. I had to look a little disappointed, but I appreciate you and I thank you for being my voice. Stop wearing your furry tail. Everyone is uncomfortable. Wait, what? Sometimes kids who are furries will wear a tail or even ears to school. It's very uncomfortable. Yes, we have a new seating chart, and yes, I sat you next to her because I can tell you have a crush on her. I noticed you try harder on your work when she's around, and to be honest, you two would make a cute couple. You know, that's kind of cute. Update. They became good friends, but did not date. Both improved grades, so a win-win. I am no longer a teacher, but I remember several days that I felt lazy and wanted to give the class the day off. I never did because I knew the teacher's pet would rat me out. Sometimes, even the teachers don't like the teacher's pet. Oh, okay. I first thought every teacher in your country had an actual pet, but I eventually figured out you were probably speaking of shoe licker dude, as we call them in French. Outside of the classroom, we would call these people brown nosers, which is my favorite widely and casually used slang. I'd let you get away with so much more if you were actually a decent person who treated others with kindness and respect. Rude people rarely get the benefit of the doubt or indifference. Absolutely this. Kids would be surprised by how much freedom they could get if they all tried to be nice to each other. If you're nice to me and aren't disruptive, I'll always work the numbers in your favor when it comes time to post grades. Every single time. And I got stuck with the high school with teachers that said no rounding on the first day. I teach middle school in Taiwan. My students are 60% ESL, 30% intermediate English proficiency, and 10% native fluency. Only have 42 students, so this number is pretty on the money. I want to tell them this. I'm not an idiot. When you're ridiculing me in Chinese, I've picked up phrases and know which ones you're using. Don't act surprised when I give you detention for calling me Benden or Baichi. I know what you're saying. Oh, I second the heck out of this. I teach in Cambodia. They think I don't know what they're saying when they talk to me in Khmer, even though I know exactly what they just said. Trying hard is necessary but not sufficient for most accomplishments. Intelligence is necessary but not sufficient for most accomplishments. I can't tell the sweet, hard-working but unintelligent kid he won't be a doctor. I can't tell the smart but lazy butthole he won't be a doctor. Both end up in my remedial class and blame being in remedial class on mean teachers labeling them. I appreciate childhood as the time for dreams, but it means people make terrible decisions when they don't understand that we just put them at the highest level we think they can pass. We don't know why they are years behind their peers, just that they are. I try to see potential and inspire kids to try their best, I really do. But there's not a lot I can do if someone is dedicated to hiding their low intelligence by trying to appear as a lazy butthole instead, or trying to hide their higher intelligence by pretending to be unintelligent to get easier work. You can be unsuccessful at school but successful in life. I pretend that it's important for you to do well in my subject, but in reality, you'll most likely find your niche in life and be reasonably content or hopefully extremely happy. You might hate maths, English, science, but turn out to be the most amazing parent, artist, carpenter, or even a mathematician, playwright, or researcher. You might get the lowest scores in class and end up being the most successful of your peers. I feign annoyance, anger, and disappointment. I reluctantly phone your parents, give you detentions, or write up critical reports. I have to, it's my job. But if you do well in my subject, then that's great. But if you don't, then just relax. We can't all be good at everything. Oh, and do you think you hate exams, tests, and homework? Your mild dislike of the work is a mere candle flame compared to the hatred that burns like a million suns that I feel when I have to freaking mark it. Yelling frick in the hallways doesn't make you cool. Teachers are yelling frick in their heads all day long. Amen. I can see who you have a crush on in the classroom. My philosophy teacher straight up told me, stop flirting with blank, you're here to work. Wasn't taking any bull crud that day. My Spanish teacher told me to get her number after class. Edit, I was talking to a girl in class, so my Spanish teacher told me to get the girl's number when the class ends. The green smell doesn't magically disappear between the parking lot and my classroom. How do I smell, bro? You're good, me? You're good too. Do my eyes look red? We can smell the green. Seriously, at least wait until after school. It's called high school for a reason, right? Look, obviously I'm on Reddit all day too, or I wouldn't be posting here. But for the love of God, can you please pretend to be working so I can go back to being disappointed by reposts? I'm browsing Reddit instead of working. What if I was the one who reposted it? If your parents email a teacher and argue with them, the whole staff knows, at least at my school. Yes, and when there's a parent who's particularly awful to a teacher, that teacher will warn all of the kids' future teachers before they even sit in their assigned seat on the first day of school. We school bus drivers do the same. I just want to say that I love all of you wonderful, underappreciated, and underpaid teachers. Teachers got me through some of the worst times of my childhood and adolescence. Except for you, Mrs. Hanson. Frick you. It's been almost a month and I still appreciate people using this comment as a place to go off on the cruddy teachers they've had. Teachers are amazing. Keep dumping on the ones who don't deserve to be grouped in with the awesome majority. Thumbs up. That we have much better hearing than you assume. We just choose our battles as it pertains to inappropriate comments. And sometimes I pretend to not see that thing you just did because I too found it humorous, and speaking to you about it would only result in me cracking up. Edit. Well, this really blew up. I'm barely seeing people's reaction to it. I appreciate all the responses, a lot of great comments, and I can definitely share stories for those interested. It's so funny when they think they're getting away with something, but no, it's just near the end of the day and you're too tired to deal with it. I freaked a student out a few months ago. As he passed me out the door, I leaned down and whispered, "Don't make paper airplanes in my class anymore." He had no clue I'd seen it, went white as a sheet and left. He hasn't done it since. Yet. Or he got better at hiding them. Diamonds need pressure, no? If I know your name by the third day of a new school year, that means you're probably a butthole. Or you have a really weird name. Or it's a very small school. Or I had your brother or sister and they were either really awesome or extremely terrible. When you think you're being genius by getting me to talk about random things at the beginning of class instead of teaching, I'm really allowing it to happen because I don't have enough plan to cover a full class. My favorite high school teacher who taught history confessed on the last day of my senior year that he always started class by talking about something completely random because he knew none of us were ready to pay attention right when class was supposed to start. Had no idea. It was a really good strategy that made the transition into the lesson a lot less jarring. I had an American history teacher that did the exact same thing. He was awesome. Not a teacher, but an evening janitor. Part of my area is where the robotics club gathers and works. You guys are so amazing. I wish you could see what I see. A group of kids who are well mixed in ethnicity and gender working hard together. I've never seen signs of drama when I walk by. When I look through the windows, I can see that you guys are listening to each other and treating each other seriously while also having fun. When you guys leave at night, your room is my favorite room to clean. It's always so clean already and I get to look at your projects and see what all that elbow grease is doing. It's so encouraging to know that these kids are part of our future. They stay an average of 2 hours after school every day and you can tell it's not forced. They are so enthusiastic that their energy practically shines into the hallway. I celebrate every time a new award is added to the trophy cabinet in the hall. I've read every parent comment in this thread and I love yours the most, by a long shot. It's very much the perfect "there's hope for the future" comment, and if I could afford it, I'd gild it with all the silly little things that Reddit has come up with lately. I'm a bus driver. Sit the frick down, you will die if I crash. Understood. Stands up. I can definitely hear the horrible things you are saying. Yes, I see that you are on the other side of the room. I may be old to you, but I am certainly not deaf. Also, that teenage boy is definitely going to buy you a Big Mac in exchange for oral diddling 100 out of 100 times. I need the story on that second one. The girl was telling a boy about how hungry she was and didn't have any money. They didn't think I could hear them, of course. She says, "I'll duck your sick if you buy me a Big Mac." We're not exactly in the best area here. I pretended like I didn't hear it, of course. Do you have any stories from high school you want to share? Leave it in the comments below and it might be featured in an upcoming video. Thank you for watching and don't forget to hit subscribe if you enjoyed. See you soon.